What is up, everyone? JD here with another everyday carry video for you. I hope you're all doing well out there today. Today I'm really excited to talk about a fifth pocket baby pocket knife that I picked up here recently from Kizer. As you can see in front of you, I have picked up the Kizer Sheepdog Mini in the black G10 with the blue collar. It is a flipper tab on bearings with 154 cm blade steel. It is a very good looking knife, very well done. It is a stainless steel liner lock knife. Drop shut action. The only thing with the drop shut is if you get it to where the detent ball stops it from being able to shut, which is almost like a little bit of a safety feature to keep it from shutting on your thumb. But if you do get it just past that, it is really smooth and it will fall shut. I do like the way that this looks, and it is surprisingly comfortable in hand. It does provide a full 3-finger grip for me with no pinky grip, which is actually fine. This would be really good for opening, packages, getting into some envelopes. I could probably even see some folks doing a little bit of food prep with this one. Now, I do want to do some comparisons, but I would first like to bring out the knife that actually motivated me to pick up the Kizer Sheepdog Mini, and that is the Kizer Sheepdog XL. And just to give you guys a little bit of a comparison, just to see how ridiculous the size on the XL is versus the Mini, you can see here just how much bigger the XL is over the Mini.
That's what she said.
And then I will let you see what it looks like in the closed position. The next thing that I'll talk about here as well is just some of the differences. I do have the micarta version of the Sheepdog XL that I did dye in the drab green. It was the OD green, which looked a little gray to me, so I elected to do a little bit of a dye for like 5 seconds with some RIT dye to get that drab green that you see here in front of you. Another difference that you'll notice here is that the XL has the deep carry pocket clip to help get that down into the pocket further to help conceal the carry in the pocket and not have anything hanging out, whereas the Mini does not have the deep carry. But I think if you're carrying this in the fifth pocket of your jeans, that's probably a good thing, because it's going to allow you to be able to pull that out, having something to grip on the top of the knife with to grab it out, because this clip actually does keep it in place fairly well. This thing is not going to be falling out of your pocket, I promise you that. The other difference here too is that the action, even though they're both really smooth, I have found, because the liner is just smaller, it's easier to operate. But also on the XL, to keep it thin, the liner is recessed into the micarta. So you do not see any of the liner on the actual XL versus the Mini. It does have the liner, which reinforces to make it a little bit stronger and more rigid in the body. And to compensate for the thinner liners here, they give you a few more of the spacers here to help make sure that you do have that rigidity. So I do appreciate that they didn't just take one knife and make it bigger and smaller, referencing, just the traditional Sheepdog. Let me give you guys some other comparisons. I'll set that aside for now so that you can get kind of a sense of the size of it compared to some more mainstream popular knives. So here I have Bug Out compared to it. This is the regular Bug Out, not the Mini. And then I have the Doug Ritter, which is essentially the same as the Griptilian. So you can see here, it is a little bit smaller than both of those knives, but not quite so ridiculous looking as it is next to the Sheepdog XL. two more knives just to help some of you guys have an idea of the size of this. Here it is against the Para 3. And you can see there, it's actually pretty close in size to the Para 3, which is why, again, I say it is usable. You do have way more handle on the Para 3 than you do on the Mini, but that should help you have a sense just how usable the knife is. And then, of course, my Paramilitary 2 with the Flatanium Jade Micarta scales that I'm still loving very much. As you can see here, it is smaller than both, but it is much closer in size compared to the Para 3. The blade is almost as long, doesn't quite meet the blade when you're comparing it from the pivots. But if you go from the choil position, you can see cutting edge and everything is actually pretty close. So I think that's kind of impressive, both in that you get that in this compact size from Kizer, but also that they have such a compact blade on the Para 3 with a full-size handle and the choil to be able to choke up for some precision work. So I've had this knife for about, I don't know, 2 weeks maybe. I wanted to carry it a little bit to kind of get a sense of how I wanted to present this to you. So this to me is kind of a backup blade, fifth pocket carry knife, or if I'm going extremely minimalist and I just want to pair something kind of small and discreet in maybe my khakis with my pocket organizer and any of my Swiss Army knives with a flashlight and a pen. That's kind of how I'm carrying it. I did pick up the Civivi Kiwi recently as another fifth pocket carry knife. And then some of the smaller, more gentlemanly knives that I did want to kind of show really quickly for you guys that it may also compare with, but it is going to take up a little bit more real estate than some of these guys. It's going to be this guy right here, the CJRB Rhea, my Kizer Feist. Oh, totally missed that. And I'll kind of move these down as I go. And then just a couple more of my gentleman knives that I have here in my knife roll that I keep in my nightstand, because I don't put these in the crate with the other knives. So just really quickly, the Stylum from Civivi, the Kershaw Leak. So you can kind of see why I picked this up. It does have a little bit more of a footprint than all these little knives that I've shown you. I can keep showing you the other ones that I do kind of have as my gentleman carry, office carry style knives. But I just wanted you to get a sense like of the footprint that it takes up. It does take, you know, maximum real estate. And before I forget, let me do a little bit of a profile comparison too, because this guy is pretty slender, but so is the Para 3. So you can see here, it is identical to the Para 3. And then the slicey bug out, even with the G10 scales from Flatanium, they are still going to be thinner than the Kizer. Hopefully that's showing up there and you can kind of see the difference in the footprint. I know it's really hard to show up on camera, but it is very thin. And the other thing that's really impressive too, when you take into comparison the XL, if you look at the two of these, the XL is only slightly thicker than the Mini. So that is really impressive. You know, Kizer has done a really good job. I think Civivi gets a lot of attention because they make a lot of quality knives and they produce a lot of product to try to appeal to whoever that knife that they're making would appeal to. Some of the stuff that I'm going to be carrying it again with is going to be the Swiss Army knife, or possibly one of my miniature multi-tools. Today I actually carried it with the SOG that I recently reviewed, the Power Pint, and I carried this in the fifth pocket of my jeans. I may actually use it with the Squirt or the Dime and kind of carry, like, again, a very minimalist carry. I keep it with the wallet. I might wear my Seiko 5 red, white, and blue with the silver, or I may wear my black and blue Timex Expedition that I picked up here recently, just kind of to give you a sense of what I'm carrying it with. But what I really want to say is I'm just really impressed with the product from Kizer, the performance of the blade, even though it is a Sheepdog and it is a lot of footprint for that actual blade. It's really very slicey. It is very thin behind the blade. I've cut, some packages, cleaned it up, and I did cut into an app a little bit, and it performs really well. So if this is something that you're taking into consideration, that you're thinking about, or maybe you're just looking for something for a fifth pocket carry or a very minimalist pocket knife, this is something that I can very, very strongly recommend for you to consider. And also the price is really nice. This can be had for a very affordable price, and it's highly worth checking out. If you're interested in it, strongly recommend it. And also, I appreciate all of you out there that have subscribed and tuned in. I know a lot of views happen without subscription, but I appreciate you that subscribe and give the feedback. It's really nice to know that it's appreciated. It does take, a lot of time and effort to do these videos, especially the editing side of it, because a lot of things will interrupt and things like that will happen. But I just wanted to say I really appreciate it. And if we do get to 1,000 subscribers, I think I want to do like a giveaway. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate all the support. Stay safe. Peace.